Okay, I am live here on YouTube. Today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021. I want to take a quick minute and talk about life insurance underwriting, how it really works. Okay, how does it work? Well, here's the problem, and I see this so many times in our insurance industry, and they think of underwriting classifications as though it's A, B, C, D, F. And then we restart it again and say, now we have table A, B, C, D, E, F, and it goes on however many table ratings that are there. And that's not the way underwriting works. And it has never worked that way. And so, my advice and warning to the public is that if anybody comes to you with a quote, and I put that in air quotes because it is worthless. That quote will be worthless if it is anything other than standard. It will be worthless if they are saying that you qualify at Ultra Superman Preferred. Now, why am I saying this? Because they start with A and they think that, oh, well, you got standard. I tried to work with the underwriter, get you better. It didn't work, whatever. No, that's baloney. Okay. Here's the deal. And this is something that our job as insurance agents and financial professionals is to help our clients set and receive proper expectations, how things really work. And so, hey, Alonzo, glad to see you, brother. And so the way that things work is that essentially 6 out of 7 policies are issued at standard. Now, I want you to think about this. Standard is standard for a reason. Why would standard be standard? Well, you'd probably think it would probably cover the most amount of people. And that's the deal with standard. Now, what happened is, I don't know, however many eons ago, this is probably before I was born, and I'm old, however old I am, um, someone got the idea that, well, if standard is standard, what if we could offer a discount for a better than standard risk classification? And so they started competing in these other areas, like, well, if your body mass is even lower here, and if you don't have that history of this other thing here, whatever it was, it became a discount war from standard. Okay. Um, and so if your agent ever comes to you and says, I have standard, fantastic. You're working with a professional. And that agent should be asking you, should not be asking you, tell me about your health. What do you think about your health? It's not up to you. It's not your opinion. When I start asking about health, I'm going to ask you, tell me about your height, tell me your weight, tell me about any prescriptions that you're taking, because they're going to do a prescription check, right? Tell me about your health for the past 10 years, roughly. Been to the hospital for anything? Hey, Mark, glad to see you. Basically, tell me what has been going on. I did not ask for an opinion, and I'm not the one to make the decision, but I need to get all the information and be able to sort it out. The other part is that when you're reading the health questions, with an agent's reading the health questions, don't volunteer anything more than what the question is exactly asking for. So, for example, in the last 10 years, have you had any fill in the blank? And if you come back saying, well, 15 years ago, I had, no, that's not what the question asked. The question asked, tell me about the last 10 years. That's it. Anything outside of that, the company didn't ask for that. So that's a part about that underwriting, those questions. You have to kind of pretend you're on the witness stand and that you're asking the questions as though you're on trial, so to speak. Kind of a terrible way to think about it, but that's the way it works. It's the same thing with when you have the paramedical exam. When someone comes to your home or office, they're going to draw a little blood, you pee in a cup, and then they're going to ask you a lot of the same questions. Why? To make sure that the agent did the job right the first time. And then the phlebotomist or whoever, the nurse, they're going to ask you other questions, probably in a different way. And you just got to make sure that your answers are consistent. By the way, a big tip: don't volunteer anything that you haven't talked to the doctor about. Now, where did that come from? Well, I know someone who talked a little too much to their medical professional, and decided to say, well, I've had some chest pains. That's a terrible thing to disclose. And I'm just thinking, you know what, unless you talk to the doctor and unless it was serious enough to go see a doctor, it didn't happen. Don't volunteer anything more than you need to. You got to be compliant. You got to disclose what's being asked for, but don't volunteer anything that hasn't been asked for. That's going to shoot that underwriting in the foot. So don't volunteer anything. If it's been serious enough that you're seeing a doctor, that needs to be disclosed. Okay. So again, going back, and when we're as agents, as professionals, and as for clients, for us, we need to be disclosing that standard is the standard. There are discounts from standard. There is worse ratings than standard. The real question is, what can we get you for your current health? What does your current health rating allow you to qualify for? So as agents, our job is to help you get the coverage that you're going to qualify for. Our job is not to wrestle with underwriters to say, I want you to have super extra ultra premium preferred Star Trek commander level. No, it ain't going to happen. And if my body mass index says that I'm under tall, yes, it would. I am a little under tall. I'm just right now a little bit outside standard from my understanding of body mass tables. Yeah, I'm a little under height. I probably need to be about 7 foot. Okay, maybe not quite that tall, but still. Our job is to set the expectations. So anytime that you're working with an agent, that agent needs to come back with standard, and either standard smoking, or rather standard tobacco, or standard non-tobacco. That's a pretty obvious one. And that question is usually based on whether you've had any tobacco products in the last year. But basically, you consult with your agent. The agent's supposed to consult with you, asking the exact questions that are on the application to make sure that the expectations are being met. But, otherwise, and by the way, companies are guilty of this too. Whenever I see a commercial, I know, and no, I won't throw any companies under the bus, but you go into an insurance office, they say, get 500,000 of term life coverage for $40 a month, whatever they're trying to say. I always look for the fine print. I'm looking forward to say subject to underwriting, rates not guaranteed, and then it'll say this is for a 10-year term based on ultra premium select preferred, whatever it is they're trying to say. And yeah, I know it's the biggest bait and switch out there. And so if we as professionals can do a better job of setting up the proper expectations, making sure that they know that how to get coverage for their current health is the most important part. So I just wanted to talk about that. I thought that was pretty important to get that out there. And you know what? I'm going to do another one of these in probably a few minutes. So I will see you all in a moment. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.